So when you look at your keys to victory, Chuck, what are the three things the Steelers need to do in order to get victory in LA at SoFi Stadium versus the Chargers?
Well, I think, when you just look at what Jim Harbaugh is capable of doing, we saw the trend from his days at the 49ers, obviously, to what we're seeing now. You have to get off to a fast start. He loves playing with the lead. So if you're going to, I think there's something very similar to what the Steelers did against the Colts. They won the toss and they took the ball and they
Mhm.
were trying to go down and score right away. So I see that similar process happening as this game's unfolding. So I expect the Steelers to get off to a fast start. That's number one. As we get to number two, they cannot have no foolish penalties. And I'm talking about pre-snap penalties that has nothing to do with the play. They have to go out there because obviously you want to be able to silence that crowd. The Steelers fans have been, they've been traveled well anytime that they went out to Los Angeles or just in the West Coast in general. So I do expect at least maybe 40 to 50% of the Steelers fans in the house, but you're still going to have to work with crowd noise. So getting off to a fast start, eliminating the crowd, and let them now get into their offense. And number three, they have to have more explosive plays. They just do, because right now that 3 yards in the cloud of dust mentality, that can't work because it's hard to go consistently in this league 10, 11, 12 play drives without making a mistake. They have to have those field flipping plays that Mike Tomlin always talks about. This is where Aaron and DK combination has to come into play. You hit that one or two times, that softens up the defense, and that can get Jalen Warren going.
You're right. We can't have any more DK 2 catches for 6 yards. You saw the effect that had on our running game, and you saw when we had our best rushing output, what happened. We got DK involved early. He got some big chunk yardage plays, and ultimately was able to get a big touchdown, and that opened the run game for the rest of the game. So I agree with you totally on that, and especially when it comes to the fast start, we have struggled in the first and third quarters of games, especially that third quarter. That third quarter has been a bugaboo for us. So fast start does not only apply to the very beginning of the game, it also applies to coming out at halftime and establishing an identity, establishing the run, something that we've struggled before for this entire season. But my three kind of differ from yours, but they're along the same line. In order for us to really have an impact on this game, a huge impact, is we got to control the time of possession, man. We have struggled with that, and we've been harping on that. And it's a couple of ways you can do that. Obviously, the biggest one is being able to run the ball with Jalen Warren, attack the middle of that defense, not only use the toss play. We've been effective with the toss play, but get him and Gainwell and Caleb Johnson involved, really pepper the inside of that defensive line. If you got to run away from Khalil Mack, who's an outstanding run defender, do that. Game plan towards that. But do whatever you can to get that running game going so that A-Rod can work in some second and third short situations, so we can get more first downs, and ultimately we can be on the winning side of the time of possession for once, because I think we've only had it one game, and that might have been versus the Browns, and I'm not even totally sure about that. But so time of possession is number one. Number two, defensively, what we did fantastically last week was we tackled the catch. And it's what our defense is built upon: stopping the run and tackling the catch. Justin Herbert is going to get his. Ladd McConkey is going to get some. Quentin Johnson is going to get some. Keenan Allen is going to get some. Aronde Gaston is going to get some. What do you do when they get their hands on the ball? Tackle them and minimize the run after catch, the yardage after catch. And something that kind of stood out to me was kind of a pretty big identity for our defense, something that I thought got us going. A lot of big plays on the defensive side of the ball. Well documented. We got 6 turnovers, some huge sacks. But the play that kind of stood out to me that I thought can be an identity for this defense moving forward is on early in the game, that Tyler Warren on third down caught a pass over the middle. Jalen Ramsey read it, reacted, and tackled him right there short of the sticks, right there in the red zone. Set the tone, I thought, early on with how we want to play from that position. So kudos to number 5. Once again, I heard about the pregame speech he gave to the team, and A-Rod said it definitely had an effect. But tackling the catch is obviously huge. And then third and foremost, you got to make Herbert hurt. That kid can play, all right? And he right now is the entire offense. They don't have their starting left tackle, Rashawn Slater, my Northwestern brethren. They don't have the guy that replaced him in Joe Alt, a rookie left tackle who was on the right side. They drafted to be the bookends for this team. He doesn't have neither of his outstanding tackles blocking and protecting his backside. And so you got to take advantage, Alex Highsmith. That is your side. You got to take advantage just like you did last week. You got to put pressure on him. You got to get Nick Herbig involved. Herbig does tend to hold on to that ball and make big plays downfield because he's strong enough. Because oftentimes he looks like our old number 7 and shrugging off potential and would-be sackers and extending plays downfield. He is really good at that. And so, in order for us to have the effect that we want to have on this team defensively, we got to make him hurt, got to get him on the ground, and we just got to keep on putting hits on him constantly and making sure that he's a little bit hesitant to get outside the pocket and make those plays with his legs that's often hurt us in the past.